The war against Valve. This is gonna be an interesting one. No lying that.
Valve is one of the most prestigious and respected companies in the world. It's no wonder why they've garnered such massive support from their customers and the gaming audience in general. The list of their good deeds is quite extensive, but arguably more important is how, unlike many other tech companies, they have avoided enshittification. Just imagine how much worse Steam could be if they added a bunch of unnecessary AI into it. Just imagine. They're basically the Costco of game publishers. A company
Yeah,
that,
I can see
despite
that.
their major, massive worldwide success, still clings to their values, a consumer-first approach, for the most part.
What's Valve's take on piracy?
Piracy to us, so we don't really worry about piracy.
That's awful, dude.
When you when you look at the top 10
Accurate,
issues on our
actually,
list at any
accurate.
given point in time, piracy is almost never something that's on that list. From our point of view, what we saw more and more is that piracy is the result of bad service on the part of game companies.
The type of company whose business practices would drive Mr. Krabs insane. Not many companies give out unsolicited refunds or retroactive discounts if you happen to purchase a game shortly before it goes up on sale. Unlike Activision or EA, Valve doesn't annualize their franchises or milk them to death. They do the exact opposite. Valve is an outlier because it's not just the good things that they've done, but rather the horrible things they've avoided doing. And as the old saying goes,
when you do things right, people won't be sure you've done anything at all.
now, they're not a perfect company, and I did a whole video a while back on the many controversies, mistakes, greed, and stupid decisions they've made in the past. But this is not that video, because at the risk of becoming the leave alone the multi-billion-dollar company guy,
What
but
the
it's
hell?
safe to say there is a targeted attack, a war, if you will, against Valve, for reasons that we're going to uncover in this video. With far too many coincidences to ignore, and the more you look into it, well, let's just say the tinfoil hat gets bigger and bigger. But before we get too deep
Okay.
into this topic, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Chime.
Alright,
Chime
I'll
is
let
the
you
most
yap.
loved banking app. Times are tough and money is tight. It's one of the biggest stressors in everyday life, and Chime takes that weight off your shoulders a bit. They offer up to 3.5% APY. That is 8 times higher than the national average. And when I opened my first savings account, you know what my interest rates were? 0.26. Yeah, a lot different. I wish I had Chime when I started saving years ago. But you don't have to be like me. You don't have to be a fool who doesn't invest his money properly. You can open an account with Chime and start saving today. And there's no need to worry about monthly, annual, or overdraft fees. Sign up today because there's no better way to secure your savings and your future than with Chime. Use my special link in the description or scan the QR code on screen to sign up today and get started. And thank you, Chime, for sponsoring this video.
And now for something completely different.
Presented for your perusal, Exhibit A. Valve wins lawsuit against Rothschild and associated entities, with a jury agreeing they violated an
Oh, yeah, that
Anti-Patent
guy.
Protection Act.
I completely
Yes, they won
forgot
this
about him.
lawsuit filed in 2023. Valve was going toe-to-toe with the Rothschilds, the very same Rothschilds who have remained one of the wealthiest banking families for the last 300 years. Yet they still don't have enough money.
Will
So this
you-
guy, Lee Rothschild,
Okay, he'll
is
explain
basically
it.
what's called a patent troll. A patent troll is basically someone who creates or acquires numerous patents, produces absolutely nothing with them, and makes a living through litigation. People who violate those patents. Think of the Nemesis system in Shadow of War. It's basically idea hoarding, not the most noble of professions.
Even going out of your way to call it a profession is insulting. It's just straight up trying to make a living in the most bizarre and the what was it, heartless and dumbest way possible. Just living off of people's mistakes. Just tiptoeing around them to basically not allow them to get money, which is impossible since they patent so much.
You'd have significantly more dignity working as a stripper, in my opinion.
Oh,
Valve
damn!
has a $152,000 settlement with some billionaire patent troll. What's the big deal? Well, Coincidentally, just a few days after this, the New York State Attorney General, Letitia James, announced that they were suing Valve.
Huh?
What for? To protect children, of course.
Of course.
Would I lie?
Yes.
That's a rather strange coincidence, wouldn't you say?
But as one trained in the Force,
You know that true coincidences are rare.
I mean, granted, big corporations deal with lots of lawsuits. They have big legal teams, so this could just be happenstance. Right?
Yeah, sure.
Valve former economist is being put on trial for promoting drug use because he admitted to taking ecstasy 36 years ago. That's right,
What?
kids. If you touch that weed joint 36 years from now, you're gonna regret it. Are you kidding me? What? There's no statute of limitations on drug use? 36 years ago, bro. That's a lifetime for me. That's more than a lifetime ago. Now, the Greek member of parliament who's being sued right now basically said that he had experienced ecstasy once 36 years ago in Sydney, ended up regretting it and saying, no matter how pleasant drug taking may seem, there is a price to pay. So not just promoting drug use, that's a reach.
Yeah.
That's a halo reach. I suppose this is all coincidence?
Unlikely.
Forces are at work, pushing us into a postmodern version of the Dark Ages. They are out there to take away from us the last remnants of autonomy and freedom that we have. Resistance is literally existence.
Oh, okay.
Is that really what he said? What? No way. Like, actually?
Coincidence?
Dark forces are at work, pushing us into a postmodern version of the Dark Ages. They are out there to take away from us the last remnants of autonomy and freedom that we have.
That sounds like straight up sci-fi dialogue. What the hell? I got such a whiplash out of that.
Resistance is literally existence.
Oh, okay, that's why they're going after him. And just a month ago, Valve was thrown into a $900 million lawsuit over PC monopoly claims. This
Oh
lawsuit
my
gained the support,
god.
coincidentally, of Steam competitor Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney. That's a whole can of worms on its own. Now let's
I like what was it? The title there. Fuck Epic. I agree with that statement. I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney. That's a whole can of worms on its own. Now let's focus on this latest lawsuit, which is about gambling, I almost said CSGO. It's Counter-Strike 2 now.
Yeah.
Counter-Strike 2 skins,
True.
loot boxes. Yeah, remember that whole controversy that really blew up like 9 years ago?
I've decided to make our own CSGO gambling site called babygambles.net. We believe that 13-year-old is way too old to get started gambling, and we want the age to go down to 5.
You're a little late to the party here, Letitia James. But the lawsuit and what she's alleging contains some pretty serious, shall we say, logical flaws. Valve, a video game developer, has made billions of dollars by letting children and adults illegally gamble for the chance to win valuable virtual prizes. These features are addictive and harmful. That's why I'm suing to stop Valve's unlawful contact and protect New Yorkers.
Just Valve?
First off, this is not the real reason, and it has 2 community notes. Counter-Strike is rated M with Steam parental controls. Minors playing reflects parental supervision choices only.
Yeah?
Yes, it all comes back to that sage-old wisdom of being present in your child's life.
Something that nowadays people tend to not do and just put them on computers. Crazy.
Cosmetics are optional with disclosed ads and no cash out on Steam. Firms shouldn't be penalized for creating products so popular that users themselves deem valuable. Now, for whatever reason, in this lawsuit, they also included this passage. It is important to note that Valve's promotion of games that glorify violence and guns helps fuel the dangerous epidemic of gun violence, particularly among young gamers who can become numbed to grave violence before their brains are fully developed.
Okay, the previous one was a Halo Reach. This is a straight up Reed Richards level dimensional reach. How is that connected to it all?
Miss James, it appears you should worry about your own underdeveloped brain, because this argument has been... Bro, I literally made a video about this like 9 years ago. That's crazy. And even then, it was an outdated argument.
Are they going to become violent just by playing Grand Auto Theft? Grand Auto Theft? Grand Auto Theft? Grand Auto Theft?
Honestly, I don't blame the guy for me. That sounds hilarious. Grand Auto Theft. What a way to mispronounce Grand Theft Auto. I don't blame him though. That's some charm right there. That is golden
This is an
though.
outdated argument from the 90s. On this basis alone, making this accusation is so wildly out of touch that any reasonable person should just invalidate and discount your opinion entirely. Like, and the allegation that Valve promotes games that glorify violence, I just... Like, where would I even begin?
Yeah.
Who can become numbed to grave violence. I'm confused. Is this about gambling or about violence in video games?
They're stacking it on top of each other, basically to have like multiple reasons for the lawsuit to succeed. Basically,
it's like you're late to the party, extremely late on both fronts. This seems like it was a hastily cobbled together list of grievances that are as poorly constructed in their thought as they are outdated.
Yeah.
Here's what I will say.
Pretty much.
Loot boxes are still a problem, and Valve should not be given a get-out-of-jail-free card when it comes to all of the ethical consequences of loot boxes, gambling, and the effect that can have on people. There is, genuine horror stories. People's lives have been destroyed by gambling.
That is true.
The only monster here is the gambling monster that has enslaved your mother. I call him Gamblor.
And they share a ton of responsibility for the popularity of loot boxes as a business practice in the gaming industry. Team Fortress 2 basically set the template for this that other companies like EA would use in much more nefarious ways. Valve has even fined...
It's interesting though that they pretty much like originally started off the whole thing with the pay to win basically for TF2, but then they just pretty much switched to cosmetics. But they kind of toned it down as opposed to other companies that just kind of can't speak. Kind of took the prices higher and the gambling addiction way more seriously. Way to benefit from the gambling addicts way more. Like rarities are much more, much, more rarer items are much more difficult to obtain as opposed to the much more common ones. Which I guess Valve stuff is also still responsible for, like, was it Counter-Strike Go with those golden weapons? It's like, man, the amount of the ability to basically grasp one of those things is just like a 1 in 600 or something. Like it all so depends on your luck, and it's bullshit. But I guess in some ways, Valve is at the very least not affecting the game as opposed to like most others. I don't know. It still sucks that we have loot boxes is what I'm trying to say. But I guess Valve is just trying to balance it out so it's not so scummy, I guess.
Tuned their loot boxes to work around European gambling laws and regulations. But here's the thing. If your goal is to protect children from gambling, why just Valve? Like, just Valve. No other company that has loot boxes?
No, they don't exist. They don't exist. They're in a different ethereal realm. Only Valve is here, present.
FIFA doesn't have an Ultimate Team, neither does Madden anymore. Like, EA's all good? Yeah, EA's great. Oh, okay. It's Valve that's the problem. Just Valve. Now, here's why Valve is not the worst offender. For starters, I've been on Steam for well over a decade, and I have never been compelled to buy a loot box personally. Their service is a PC storefront, and the games that do have microtransactions can be enjoyed to their fullest without ever touching a loot box. The same cannot be said for other games and products. Halo 5 or Battlefront 2, where the loot boxes actually have an effect on the gameplay and lifetime product, not
Oh,
just
yeah.
a visual aesthetic change. Games that monetize their games
Straight up pay to play. The big difference is if it's just cosmetics that just visually affect the game versus something that literally affects the game.
gameplay, pay to win, is
Yeah.
infinitely worse, in my opinion, than cosmetic only. With Counter-Strike skins, they do have real-world tradable value, like a Pokemon card. I suppose that is part of the problem, as third-party gambling sites have propped up, and at times Valve has struggled to take action against them and become complicit in the problem, but they have
Well, to be fair, as far as I remember, there are certain scams that also happen in Steam and whatnot, so this is kind of like wishy-washy is basically what I'm trying to say.
taken action even as long ago as 2016. All of this is to say, Valve is far from the
At least
worst
they're
offender
not
when it comes to gambling
taking
that
no
is
action.
addictive and harmful to children. Nobody in their right mind is going to give the loot boxes and monetization of Counter-Strike 2 and Dota 2 a free pass. There's obviously problems. The point is, if Valve is not the worst offender, then who is? And why aren't you going after them? You want to talk about protecting children? Maybe go after Roblox.
Oh, yeah.
Roblox. And if the goal is truly to regulate gambling better, did you watch the Super Bowl? Have you watched the NFL this last season? Is it not a massive conflict of interest for the NFL to have ads to bet on the games that you are watching on their network? Is that not... That's cool?
No, that's just on sports. That's just on sports, not video games that can affect children. That's just sports. You know, the adults that are interested in it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm being sarcastic.
Fine with like YouTubers doing a DraftKings ad read, but when you have NFL commentators giving their gambling predictions on a NFL broadcast, that seems like a bigger deal to me. The consequences of winning or losing this lawsuit are huge. Letitia James seeks to permanently stop Valve from promoting gambling features in its games, disgorge all ill-gotten gains, pay back all the money, the billions of dollars they made, and pay fines for violating New York's laws. Should they lose this lawsuit, which I can't imagine they will, it could also start a domino effect that spreads to other states and more lawsuits. This lawsuit is filled with other bogus allegations. They posted a screenshot alleging that Counter-Strike has a near-miss mechanic where you will see a very valuable item, but you won't actually win it. It's a tease. However, Valve removed this feature back in 2018, and the screenshot presented has been tracked down by internet sleuths, showing the exact opposite of what is being alleged in the lawsuit.
Wow. So they, wow, literally just taking a screenshot from something that is the opposite of what is shown. No, I won the skin fair and square with, you know, I got lucky. Not the opposite, where it's like a scam that has a near-miss system. That's crazy.
I actually won this. What is it called when you present evidence that undermines your own case? That's a contradiction, Yugi boy. I think it's pretty clear these lawsuits and this war against Valve has ulterior motives behind it. Again, why are you not suing Polymaker or Calci or Blizzard, Epic, EA? So what is the real motivation? Well, put on the tinfoil hat, people. Let me spin you a yarn. Let me tell you.
Can it be a tinfoil headset?
I think it's pretty clear, as we've been seeing this push in technology across the world, that corporations, CEOs are vying for more control. They're putting AI into everything, harvesting data. They want more forms of verification that they never asked for before. Despite all of Roblox's numerous child safety features, sexual exploitation cases on the game have skyrocketed in the last few.
Roblox reported a 3.455 increase of suspect child sexual exploitation cases in national centers for missing exploitation between 2019 and 2024. Man, Roblox, man, what happened to it?
Few years. There is such a hardcore push for digital verification that you've got Discord pushing it. Discord, who is partnered with a company associated with Peter Thiel, the guy who's running Palantir. I made a video about that on the second channel.
Yep.
Subscribe to Actman TV if you haven't already, and subscribe to this channel. I really appreciate it. But as discussed in the Discord video, Peter Thiel is intent on setting up this like nationwide, worldwide surveillance state where you have no privacy. That's the long and short of it.
Which is basically dystopian future. Like, what in tarnation? Isn't the whole point of having some privacy not have your entire privacy disturbed? Straight up, your piece is gone.
The tech world is pushing an aggressive approach to age verification, and Valve owns one of the largest digital storefronts in the world. Steam has about 132 million monthly active users.
Oof.
It's because Valve does not play by the rules set by other public companies in harvesting their users' data that makes them a massive barrier in the tech industry's ultimate goal of establishing a mass surveillance state. You know, a few years ago, this shit would have sounded crazy to me too. But especially after seeing Discord try to pull this stuff, it is not a coincidence. And although it is speculation on my part, that is the reason I believe why Valve is being targeted, why there is a war against Valve being waged through the form of various lawsuits and litigation. 132 million monthly active users. Can you not see a world in which people want the data and the information and the IDs of 132 million people?
Yeah,
That's
I
why
can
they're
see it.
being sued. It is so ridiculous that apparently even calculator firmware is being
Huh? Dystopian. Due to age verification laws, open source calculator firmware is being restricted in some states. A calculator. A calculator. Really? the most basic thing for doing quick maths? The calculator. Yeah, that comment is accurate. This is dystopian. What? That is truly dystopian. Holy.
restricted unless users verify their age, right? That's what this is about. And you can see in the lawsuit, Valve does not verify the age of Steam users. This is a problem. You see all these instances of stop killing games, AI data centers popping up, AI being shoved into everything, age verification across all of our apps.
Oh, yeah.
Increasingly raised prices on things like subscriptions and Xbox Game Pass. These are not all isolated, independent events, in my opinion. I think it is a greater push by these out-of-touch billionaire tech CEOs to exert as much control over the population as possible.
I mean, at this point, this isn't even a game theory. This is just straight up facts.
Safety rules also apply on the internet. These rules include never giving out personal information.
And Valve has access to one of the largest audiences and the broadest demographics, I think, on the planet. The increasing RAM prices, just as the
Oof.
enshittification of everything tech is not just a
Enshittification.
coincidence.
That's a nice
Neither
phrase.
is this war against Valve, and I wager it has very little to do with gambling. Valve is being targeted because they are independent and they're different from all of the other companies enshittifying everything. They might be the single biggest legal test case in gaming. And if they fall, it's only going to get worse. So what are we left with? Well, we have a series of lawsuits and claims filled with evidence contradicting their accusations. These suspicious lawsuits come against Valve at a time when tech companies seem insistent on gathering more and more personal and identifying information from users, removing any semblance of privacy, potentially setting up a nationwide surveillance state, monitoring every single thing you do on the internet, and then feeding all of that information into an AI algorithm to then exploit you.
We're entering the apocalypse. Cyberpunk seems closer and closer as opposed to a fictional world. Goddamn, like... Oof. I remember when certain stories in like old games or whatnot pretty much had this type of thing discussed. Like people being constantly observed, oppressed, and everything like that. And it's just like, let's do that in real life now. Man, if I told that to like past me about the fact that this is happening in my future, he'd probably not believe me. And then when he grows up to current me, he'd be like, damn, should have listened to future me.
Tinfoil hat might be on a bit snug or a bit too loose. In any case, an attorney general who is 30 years late to the violence in video games debate should not be taken seriously, and said attorney general's motives and intentions must be called into serious question, especially considering Valve is nowhere near being public enemy #1 in the gambling is bad for people business.
Yeah.
Judging by the Matrix-like dystopia the tech industry is going in, I'd wager these lawsuits are not for anyone's benefit but the corporate elite. One could say we are heading towards
pretty
a world
much is.
in which no man is free.
Hey!
Those are my thoughts on the lawsuits
Is that
Valve
why
is
he put it
facing
there?
and the war against Valve and Steam. How do you think things will turn out? Valve is a killer team of lawyers, so it's not going to be an easy fight. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Check out my older video, The Rise and Fall of Valve, if you want a more critical approach to their company's history, and subscribe to The Act Man for more awesome content. Thank you, Chime, for sponsoring this video. All right, everyone, that's all I got for today. This is The Free Man, signing out. Peace!
Rock on, dude.
Valve is one.
Honestly, it's a very big, like, 50-50, I guess. If they're gonna win or lose, because, I don't know. We don't know who's gonna jump in and basically strike against them in the lawsuit, but at the exact same time, we don't know who's gonna maybe fumble as a result of this. I don't know. It's very... I'm hoping, because at the very least, Valve has remained, despite its, you know, negative stuff and its flaws, still the most solid company in terms of, like, video games and treating their, you know, what was it? The people that use their platform with, you know, respect and, well, value, genuinely. I think. They're the man of the people, in a sense. So having to lose that last glimpse, flame, bonfire of hope in this day and age is gonna be, like, devastating, I think. Like, oof, I have no words. It's gonna be different. It's gonna be bad. Hopefully it won't resort to that, but you never know.